All right, we're talking about the Texas Rangers. Now, the rankings are very off because the A's still had a lot of players, but they came in at the time ranked number 19th and 5th in the division. When we do the new rankings, which Jake is very excited about, I'm interested to see where they land. They had a hell of an offseason. They finished last year 60-102, 102 losses, and we've been kind of confused about their direction for the last couple years as a team. Jake, I think they found a direction that they're going with. Can you tell us who they lost?
Man, I want to apologize to Texas Rangers fans. They lose Isaiah Kiner-Falefa to the Yankees, MVP candidate for the Yanks this year. A couple hurlers, Jordan Lyles.
Most valuable pineapple.
Fultonavich. Brock Holt. He's with the Braves. How about that? Doing Brock Holt things. That's who they lost, fellas. The good news is coming in. Ho, ho, ho. This is Trevor Plouffe on a Friday night feeling good. How's your Corey Seager? How's your Marcus Semien with one of the best years we've ever seen from a second baseman? Mitch Garver behind the dish. That's important. John Gray, Martin Perez. How about Cole Calhoun? Sneaky going to be batting in the second half of this lineup this year. Garrett Richards, Trevor Plouffe, sneaky all-star pick, backyard Brad. Marisnik, Matt Carpenter, Greg Holland, Charlie Culberson, all on minor league deals. These guys could be major league impact players for this team this year. Texas opened up the bank account this offseason, and they made some moves. Trev, tell us what the rotation looks like, though, after all that, because
I'm interested in the rotation. Okay. I'm not going to know or pretend to know all of these guys and what they feature. You know, there are a few familiar names to people: John Gray, Martin Perez, Dane Dunning, Taylor Hearn. I know those guys. There's a solid couple pitchers in there that could, eat some innings up for you. I want to see T. Hunge get a full season as a starter. See what this guy can do. Because obviously we've been around him a lot. He's a big boy. Throws real hard. AJ Alexi, Colby Allard are going to be more rotation depth according to Fangraphs. In the bullpen, don't know a ton of these dudes. Okay, Joe Barlow, Spencer Patton, Garrett Richards, I do know. He is in the book twice. Greg Holland is in the book twice or thrice. Brett Martin,
Or thrice.
Josh Spores. Pitching is not a strong suit for this team. I'm going to say that right away. James, what may be a strong suit is this lineup. Do you want to go over it?
They added some guys. Top of the lineup, Semien, Seager, Garver, all new additions. Nathaniel Lowe, early settler name, nominee. He's there. They got him in 2020 via trade. Adolis Garcia had a great year last year. True or false?
A good year.
Was great at one point.
It was great for the first
early
half.
in the year.
He had a good year.
Early in the year. Cole Calhoun, forgot that they added him. That's exciting. Brad Miller. All right, so this is a whole new lineup.
Yes.
Andy Ibanez and Willie Calhoun. 3 of the 9 there were on the team last year.
It's not a bad lineup.
No, it's wild that there's so many new faces. Like a lot of our Texas Ranger listeners, parents and grandparents are going to have a tough April. Because when like the Yankees would do this, my grandma would be like, I don't know who any of these guys are. And she'd get their names wrong for a while. So that's fun for Rangers fans. You're going to have a lot of explaining to do to your grandparents.
They've got 2 that you only need to explain once in Semien and Seager. So that's the good news. Big Daddy Nate Lowe is there. This is what I asked of this team for the past 18 months. Their lineup was depleted. Willie Calhoun, who's currently slotted in to be maybe the last guy in that lineup, they were hoping he was going to be like the leadoff guy, 2-hole guy next year. So offensively, they've done a full flip. Nick Solak, remember, he was all JM team first month last year.
You got to pedal.
Got sent down as part of last year or got demoted. Either way, this offense, I will say, one of my first biggest surprises, it does jump off the paper. Some of their Fangraphs projections, it says 8 of their guys are projected for 19 or plus homers. I mean, that's different than some of the teams we've seen. I know we're going to talk about some of the young guys later, but Josh Young He should be getting the call this year, and he would be your third baseman. Thick neck. Trev just signaled it. And by the way, Jack Leiter on the farm will be interesting to see if he gets a call this year. He could also be waiting, but they transformed the hitting. Awesome. I've wanted Texas to do that. Even the guys like Cole Calhoun and Brad Miller, let's find out. Because those dudes could give you a 25-homer season when the guys that they were running out last year could not. So I love that for Texas.
I do think Josh Jung had a injury and surgery and is out for 6 months. I don't think he's around this year.
What about his little brother who's going to be a top 6 pick in the draft?
Ooh.
Texas Tech.
What's his first name?
Jace
Jung.
I knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hate college baseball.
Hey.
Got me.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm going to just come out strong with this right now.
Yes.
If they get lucky with a few of these starters, John Gray looks pretty good. T. Hunge does his thing. Jack Leiter comes up. Why is this guy, like, I've seen him pitch. His stuff plays at the big league level. Let's find out. Like, get him up there. This team, we said if they get to 500, it's a win for them. I think this team has a higher ceiling than that.
Yeah. I mean,
Am I saying wild card? I don't know. Like, that is
they're in that bucket of
best
teams
case
that can
scenario.
surprise you. Yeah. For sure. They have the talent. But I also I think it's clear with Leiter in the wings and some other aspects of the construction and them signing guys for multiple years.
Mm-hmm.
Like they basically just built the window, and they're gonna open it up a little bit this year. I don't think the Rangers front office, like, if they win this year, and we've had teams like the Red Sox were supposed to be rebuilding last year, like in a new state, and they were a playoff team. So I do think this Rangers team can become a playoff team and surprise us. But I also think that, say they win, 85 games, 80 whatever, and have a good season, that they're fine.
They could have a successful 78-win season from where they're coming from.
I don't know, man.
Well, it will
Still stings a lot.
There's only one team in this division that should be a rollover that was ranked ahead of them before they traded three of their best players. Jim, you labeled it best at one point this year because it was a Jakeism. I forgot it, and you brought it back. Like, Corey Seager and Marcus Semien were not going to be free agents next year. And I think next year is probably the attack year for the Texas Rangers, but they lock those guys up now. So that's really fun. And we'll see. And what you guys were saying is, we talked about some of the other teams like the Cubs. Would they be able, like the Kansas City Royals, like those teams' best case scenarios, I don't really know where that lands. I don't think that can be a sneaky, fun wildcard team. This team, and it's what we're saying about the lineup, if a couple pitchers click, a couple of the young guys, our guy Taylor Hearn, we love him. He's the man. AJ Alexi, watched him pitch a couple times last year. He was gross. Dane Dunning, young pitcher. I always think he's lefty. He's a righty. If they have a couple things click, like, it's the window for a very fun baseball season, which is cool. That being said, I don't think you hammer that bet, but the fact that they have the potential for that is pretty cool. And that's because their team, their front office did what kind of every team hopes their team does going into the offseason. They signed two of the biggest contracts in baseball history, and they added a little bit around it too, which is awesome. Go Texas, go.
Big Texas fan.
I'm still not on them because of just my past. That's if you're a Texas Rangers fan, I think you should be excited about the year. Clearly, it's an upgrade over where we've been here. We signed the two big dogs. We did add around them.
For the last couple of years, they were searching for the walls of the house, hoping they could find a window. And we're like, what are you doing? You're signing all these pitchers. You're not trading guys that you can get a return for at the deadline. Like, I'm just excited for Rangers fans. One, amazing offseason. Like, to get those two guys and to shock everybody, to get Leiter, like, they're going for it. I don't think they need to win this year for the offseason to be a success. They signed these guys for a long time. I do think they can surprise us this year. I don't like this West division as much as you guys do. I think the Rangers, Angels, and Mariners could be all in the same exact bubble of record, and I wouldn't be shocked.
I think when we look at the Mariners on paper, I do think the talent is gonna.
They're my favorite, but I just don't think it's a wide gap.
I think the pitching.
I think it is. The pitching is what separates.
We really haven't talked the bullpen. Martin Perez is slotted in as their 2 right now, and that was a guy that was in and out of Boston's rotation. And the other guys are the other guys are just young, and that bullpen, man. I mean, Trev's got guys in his book in there. Like, this bullpen has a chance to be one of the lesser in baseball. So I think when we actually get on paper and we start digging into my Halos and the Mariners, especially the Mariners, I do think we're going to see teams on different tiers.
Okay, you've been just opening the wound up a little bit. Let me just throw a little salt in there real quick.
Sure.
Usually we're learning about these teams as we do these TPPs. I'm on Fangraphs, we're on Baseball Reference. Fangraphs roster resource, every single pitcher they have listed, there's not one that has a 3 in his projection for an ERA. So when we are looking at these teams that are consensus playoff teams, I mean, we're seeing projections that look a lot better than what we have here. Don't always live by the projections. I understand you got to go play the game, but I don't know what the plan is there. If they're just going to ride it out here and just hope, it seems like that's probably what's going to happen. That's going to be the Achilles heel 100%. I'm
interested to see the pitching. Obviously, Hearn's going to crush it.
Nasty.
We love him.
One of the nicer guys, like if you're a third-party listener, like root for Hearn, even.
I also think it's true, though. Like, this guy has everything you want.
They put him in the rotation at the end of last year. I think he had some blips down the stretch, but for a while, like it was like 10 games in a row. It was good. He looked good. Get lighter up, Trev. I agree. Like, he's a college kid, first-round pick. You're the Rangers in a year where you can test out. Like, there's not a lot of make or break. Get him 7 starts, 10 starts. And if he looks anywhere close to good, like if his first 5 starts, where are they going to start him? AA? AAA?
Trying to look it up.
If I'm the Texas Rangers, you give him those starts, James, and then you just try to sign him. Why not?
Yeah.
You already invested a lot of money in him. Like, try to go sign him for cheap so you have him. And then you have to worry about any of the service time manipulation, anything like that.
But I'd get him up this year. I mean, I don't think it's...
I think you see where the season's going. Unfortunately, service time stuff ends up getting involved. He hasn't thrown a minor league inning yet. So let's see, and let's see where this Texas Rangers season goes. Because as we're talking about it, like this, we're kind of on the optimist end. Like, hey, these guys can bump it around a little bit. They can compete this year. They could also be the 4th team in the West. And then the conversation goes, okay, well, we're the 4th team in the West. Let's find out what Jack Leiter is, or let's save a year of service time so when these Texas Rangers are a ball club in a couple years, we've got them.
I have dug into the pitching.
You
Love you.
I can't hear you guys.
What about now?
Yes.
Okay. I dug into the pitching a little bit.
Sure.
Because there are a lot of names. John Gray, good last year. They should have traded it, blah, blah, blah. Martin Perez. Dane Dunning, they traded for him. Lance Lynn, they got him in return. I didn't realize how I did not realize. I kind of walked back some of what I said earlier.
You're a pitching guy. And
I just saw.
The lineup's solid.
The lineup's solid. What happened with Dane? What happened with Dane Dunning last year?
It's done in.
He didn't get out of the 4th inning a lot, it seems like, or 5th inning. I walk back what I said.
Okay.
They would need Leiter to come up.
Be a fun team.
Dominate. Who's going to pitch?
Yeah, maybe there's somebody that we don't know about. Like I said, we don't know all these rosters, but we've already said it a million times here that that's the concerning part of this roster.
I think I've
And
got
even
it.
even the lineup, dude, like a lot has to go right.
If you put this lineup with like the Florida Marlins, we got a ball team. Here's I think our dream. I shouldn't say dream. I think this is, as a baseball fan and wanting the Texas Rangers to become good, I think your best case is this team has a fun April, May. You know, we're winning some games. We're around 500. Trade deadline starts to come around. Team starts losing games. And Backyard Brad and Cole Calhoun, these guys that are killing it, we trade them for some pieces. Next free agency, we had a couple more guys. Jack Leiter's dialed up for next year. Our guy Josh Jung, he's ready to go. I like next year being the year. How about this? I was going to say be last year's Mariners, but last year's Mariners were good.
They need like a
2
Ranger
years ago.
Suarez.
2
Or
years ago.
they need like a Nestor Cortez. They need like a guy that no one has penciled in to have a, like, you know, give them halfway through the season 15 starts of like a 2 ERA or some shit like that. I don't know who it is. Rangers fans, who's it going to be?
I liked Alexi. I liked watching him pitch last year.
What pitcher is going to do it?
Gross beard.
I'm deflated because I was trying to be nice and root for him.
Taylor Hearn.
Yeah, but like they went out and they got Dunning for Lynn. I didn't realize how not good his year was last year. That was the guy they went and got.
Yeah.
John Gray. Decent.
Minor league pitcher named Cole Winn. Let's root for that.
Martin Perez.
Win.
The win for win. Okay, do we have an over-under? Oh, we're late. Man, I wasn't keeping track of the time. We're
I was wondering what was going on there.
Rangers employed from Max's fun stat, the Rangers employed the best pitch frame and catching staff in baseball with Mitch Garver, Jonah Heim, and Jose Trevino.
Don't care.
The pitching just got helped.
I'm so over pitch framing. It's like they've went too hard. They were putting too much stock into it when certain umpires probably don't even fucking consider it.
Over-under from DraftKings is 74.5.
Under.
At the beginning of the time period, I probably would have said over, but I think some of the overs and stay under.
It's under. This is a 72-win ball team. Thanks, Rangers.
Thanks, Rangers. Sorry that maybe they were happy with me for a second and then teetered off.
Yeah.
My bad. Trev shook hands too.